to the channel. Let me ask you a simple question. Think about your childhood. Do you remember every lesson your teacher taught you? Maybe not. But do you remember the stories your parents or grandparents told you? Most probably the answer is yes. That is because of our brains are naturally designed to remember stories more than facts. Stories have the power to inspire, educate, motivate, and connect people emotionally. Whether it is a teacher explaining a lesson, a business owner selling a product, a leader motivating a team, or a friend sharing an experience, storytelling makes communication more meaningful and memorable. Today in this video, we are going to learn what storytelling is, why it is so powerful, the important elements of a great story, and how you can become a better storyteller. I will also share real life examples in every section so that you can understand easily. So let's begin. So what is storytelling? Storytelling is an art of sharing information through a story instead of simply giving facts alone. A good story creates emotions and captures attention and helps people remember the message. For example, imagine I tell you this sentence: hard work leads to success. It is true, but it is not very interesting. Now, listen to this. A young boy sold newspapers on the streets every morning before going to school. He studied under streetlights because there were no electricity at home. Years later, the same boy became a successful scientist and inspired millions of students. Which one will you remember tomorrow? Obviously, the second one. That is the power of storytelling. Stories give life to informations. Why storytelling is important? Storytelling is important because people connect with emotions more than information. Fact may enter brain, but stories enter into heart. For example, imagine two teachers explaining environmental protection. The first teacher says, "Don't cut trees. Trees gives oxygen." The second teacher tells this story. A small village once had a huge banyan tree where children played every evening. One day the tree was cut down to build a parking area. Slowly the village became hotter, birds disappeared and children stopped playing outside because there was no shade anymore. The villagers realized that one tree had been silently protecting their lives. Which lessons will students remember? The story creates emotion, so people never forget it. That is why successful teachers, leaders and speakers use stories while they speak. Here comes the 5 elements of great story. Every great story has 5 important elements. The first one is character. Every story needs someone the audience can connect with. For example, think about Harry Potter. Without Harry, there is no story. Or think about the movie of Pursuit of Happiness. The main character struggles to survive while taking care of his son. We connect with him because he feels like a real person. Whenever you tell a story, introduce a character first. People remember people but not information. Second component is conflict or a problem. Every interesting story has a challenge. Imagine a student who always scores low mark in English, but he becomes afraid of speaking in class because his classmates laugh at him. This problem makes this audience curious. They begin thinking what will happen next. Without problem, there is no story. Conflict creates curiosity. And the third component is journey. The journey explains how the character tries to solve the problem. Let's continue the same example. The student decided to improve his English. Every day he reads one newspaper article, learns 5 new words and practices speaking of 15 minutes in front of the mirror. Day after day he keeps improving. The journey teaches the lesson. People don't admire success. They admire struggles. Fourth one is resolution. Every story needs an ending. After 1 year continuous practice, the same student wins the best speaker award in his college. Everyone applauds him. His confidence changes completely. This ending gives satisfaction to the audience. It improves that hard work brings success. Fifth one is moral or a message. Every story should teach something. In our example, the moral is simple: never afraid of failures. Consistent practice can change your life. Without a message, a story is only entertainment. With a message, it becomes an inspiration. Where can we use storytelling? Teacher use story to explain difficult subjects. For example, instead of simply explaining honesty, a teacher may narrate a famous story of George Washington and the cherry tree. where the young George admitted cutting down the trees because he believed honesty was most important than avoiding punishments. Whether every detail of the story is historical, accurate, or not, it has been used for generations to teach the values of truthfulness. Business companies also use storytelling. Instead of saying, our shoes are comfortable, they can tell a company may tell the story of marathon runner who completed his first race wearing those shoes. Customer remember the story more than the advertisement. During job interviews, storytelling is equally important. Instead of saying I have leadership skills, you can say during my college project, 2 team members were left before the deadlines. I divided the remaining work among the team, motivated everyone, and we successfully completed the project on time. Now, your interviewer believes your leadership because you provided it with a story. Now, we'll see about how to become a better storyteller. Anyone can become a good storyteller with practice. Start with a strong opening that makes people curious. Use simple English so everyone can understand. Describe feelings instead of only facts. Speak naturally and use changes in your voice to create excitement. Use facial expressions and eye contact whenever possible. Most importantly, keep your stories real. People may forget your words, but they will remember how your story made them feel and motivate them. Concludes, let's quickly recap what we learned today. Storytelling is one of the most powerful communication skills in the world. It helps us teach better, speak better, sell better, and inspire people. Every great story has 5 important elements: a character, a problem, a story, a resolution, and a meaningful message. Whether you are a student, teacher, business person, content creator, or a public speaker, storytelling can make your communication more engaging and memorable. So, next time you want to explain an idea, don't just give information. Tell a story, because facts may inform people, but stories transform people. Thank you so much for watching.